So there, Chandra, my sense is specifically the areas of digital cloud and the ones within it, for example, data, for example, cyber security, the Internet of Things, the whole area of experience. I think those have a very good growth trajectory. And then it's a function of really how we bring things together with large transformation programs. If we remain committed to our clients and on this focused path of what's relevant for our clients, we see a good future for the coming quarters.
Right. But when you say good future, will this mean double-digit growth that the industry, not just Infosys, will perhaps return to that double-digit growth trajectory from next year?
So there, Chandra, I don't have a good sense of the industry and where that would go. I'll say more specifically for us, if all of our digital investments are focused on what's relevant for clients, gives us good confidence for what's coming in the future. We obviously don't have a commitment or forecast which is beyond the end of this financial year. But overall, given what we see a very good future for the digital transformation work.
Right. And Salil, one thing that has really worked for you and other companies is a favorable offshore on-site mix, largely because of the travel restrictions. A lot of work has been able to get executed offshore. Do you see this continuing even in a post-vaccine world? How are you seeing the landscape, the business landscape, the delivery landscape changing in a post-vaccine world? Is this model here to stay, the higher offshore model? And the second part of that question, what will this mean for billing rates? Because traditionally, the on-site billing rates have been higher than offshore. So will we see a pressure on billing rates coming in if more and more work continues to happen offshore?
So there again, Chandra, the way we see it is, given the travel restrictions, we had a faster move to that offshore on-site percentage mix. We think that some of that will continue, but some of that will be reduced because travel will open up. And there's always a mix of work which is not driven purely from a margin consideration. It's driven much more from what is required for the digital transformation work with clients. So we do some of the work on-site and some of the work offshore. A little bit of that will move back to on-site. We also have large digital studios in Europe, US, Australia. So those will be the places where some of that work will be done. And then as we move ahead, what that means really in terms of pricing, I think what we saw in Q2 and we shared, the pricing has been relatively stable in Q2, and we don't anticipate any big changes from what we see into the discussions we're having for the foreseeable future.
Right. And Salil, if I look at deal wins, Q2 was obviously very robust, over 3 billion worth of deal wins, and I read an analyst report which said that there was a historic high of over $500 million deals. Is that continuing into the third quarter as well? Or are there uncertainties now because of the US elections next month? Perhaps clients are in a wait and watch mode. And we are also seeing these recurring virus outbreaks in Europe. So have these two had an impact on closures of deals, on the discussions that you're having with clients at this stage?
Now, typically, and I've shared this in the past, these are more volatile. What I mean is, each quarter is not the same in terms of predictability, but over a period of 12 months, we have a decent idea of how these deals will evolve. We have not seen any impact today as a consequence of the US election situation or the European, the cases increasing situation. I think notwithstanding that, there's always volatility in the numbers quarter on quarter, but our deal pipeline, as we shared when we shared our results, is very strong, and we remain confident that over a period of time, we will continue to participate in these large digital transformation programs with our clients.
Salil, you said the US presidential election hasn't had an impact, at least so far, in terms of the conversation with clients are concerned, deals are concerned. But what are you bracing for? I mean, the jury is out. A lot of polls are predicting a Biden win. Will that be a positive for IT? Because he has been more open to offshoring, outsourcing. He also sort of came down heavily on the proclamation that called for a visa ban. So, what scenario are you pricing in or painting in as far as the US presidential elections are concerned?
So there, Chandra, one of the things we've done over the past few years is build out what we call our localization approach, where we recruit individuals from colleges in the US. We recruit locally US employees. We made announcements in terms of the number of those employees we recruit. And we recently made yet another announcement for the next 2 years that we'll recruit 12,000 US employees. So from our perspective, we are building a business model which is more and more resilient for the future. We don't have, and I don't have a view specifically on the election, but our approach has been to build a business which can work under most scenarios within the US system.
As a veteran of the IT industry, you have seen multiple boom and bust cycles. I think three scenarios that were a game changer. One was Y2K, which led to a huge explosion in growth. Then you had the GFC, after which also IT companies saw a huge explosion of growth. And now you have COVID-19. Do you believe that out of these three scenarios, the post-COVID-19 scenario is perhaps going to be the most significant one in terms of growth, in terms of the huge potential that outsourcing firms will see? Is this perhaps the tipping point?
So here, I absolutely agree, Chandra, that the opportunity we have in front of us for Infosys, for technology services, is just incredible. What has happened around the world is more and more large enterprises are going through changes which support the digital infrastructure. And that change, if we are positioned well, where we are providing the right capabilities, providing the right skills, providing the right insights, is a massive opportunity. From our perspective, that opportunity is a fast growing opportunity. And I'm really extremely optimistic that as long as we are focused on that digital and cloud opportunity, the coming years are really very positive for the technology business.